Let's talk about why taking your time to reach financial freedom is actually very powerful. One of the things as a first gen Latina is feeling that financial anxiety of that you are way behind because most of the times we had to figure out stuff on our own and the general first gen experience, and so a lot of times we are kind of like starting a little bit further behind the start line. And so a lot of times we feel like we need to hurry up to catch up to our counterparts to try to reach financial freedom. The problem with that is in that rush, we become a little bit emotional and we make emotional financial decisions that can lead us to bad financial decisions and make a lot of mistakes along the way. And this actually ends up prolonging our journey to reach financial freedom and financial stability because now we have to go back and fix all the issues that we made, all the mistakes that we made. I served in the Navy for almost 15 years. And one of the things that I did learn from the military is we had this saying of slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And basically, what this really means is that you want to take your time when doing a task because a lot of times, especially in the military, we definitely had this rush of getting things done, and that caused a lot of problems because a lot of people were just trying to like rush and get the task done for the day so they could go home. And then that would lead to issues because you did it wrong or you forgot a step or whatever. And then we have to go back and fix it. And let me tell you, a lot of us learned that the hard way, but that is something that has stuck with me, and I have to remind myself a lot of times because I still have that anxiety of that I have to get where I'm going fast. And throughout my journey, I definitely made a lot of mistakes that I had to learn the hard way. And so let's talk about how that saying can apply with your financial freedom journey. Because although we see it on social media of like these 20-year-olds, these 22-year-olds, they're reaching financial freedom or they're retiring by like 25 or 30 or whatever, it makes us feel rushed. And especially where we think that we need to be, a lot of us are in like our 30s and we may feel like behind from our counterparts. We see somebody, especially now with social media, it's really easy to feel like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I behind? Now I feel like I have to rush. And so you're scrambling, trying to figure out what to invest in, how to invest, saving up, and all this stuff. And it's just like stressing you out. And this is where I will see a lot of like first gen Latinas like struggle with because one, you're scrambling to try to figure out everything that you want to do. And so you go out there and buy all these books and try to research yourself till your eyes bleed. But a lot of times we get stuck. We overanalyze and then we either don't take action or we get so frustrated and be like, you know what? I'm just going to do it and just put your money anywhere or make a financial decision that was probably not the right decision for your financial goals. And so I am a real estate investor. I share my journey on my page and obviously here. And that is one of the things that I see all the time where, of course, people are like, oh, I need to invest in real estate. I need to buy rental properties because that's how I'm going to reach financial freedom and build wealth. And this is where a lot of new investors get in trouble. And this is where I got in trouble as well, is that I just jumped. I just jumped into it because I felt that rush, right? I felt the need that, oh, wow, I'm really behind. I really need to get into this. And I made some poor decisions with real estate investing that a lot of them I'm still fixing to this day, and some that I kind of, regret, obviously, but I've learned from them. And it's because I was trying to do everything so fast. I was trying to do everything like trying to catch up instead of doing like the motto says, slow is smooth, smooth is fast, because I was going fast and it was a very bumpy road. I am in several like real estate investing groups, and through those groups I've like talked to people and kind of like mentored them where they're new at it and they want to quit, and it's because they picked the wrong strategy. They picked the wrong investment. They just kind of just winged it, and not knocking it, because a lot of times, taking some type of action is better than no action, right? But the thing is, you're going to have to do a lot of double work because you just kind of like did whatever, just feeling that need to jump into investing in real estate or investing in that K or buying stocks. I saw that as well, where people just start buying stocks like, oh wow, I really need to start investing in the stock market. So you know what? Let me just go buy whatever. A lot of us made some poor decisions. I know I did. Let me tell you a story of one poor decision that I made, and I just lost. I lost $1,500. It was young Violeta, and I was in that mindset where I was barely learning about personal finance, and I was like, "Oh wow, I'm not investing in the stock market. I really need to invest." I was technically investing because in the military we have our own version of the 401k. It's called it their savings plan. But I was investing in just like government, bond stock and stuff like that instead of like the actual stock market, which was giving me barely any return. So I wasted a lot of years with that. And so because of that, when I realized that, I was like, oh wow, I need to really invest my money and catch up, especially at that time, I was working, getting my military paycheck, and I was going to school, and I had an internship. So I had a lot of cash coming in. So I was like, I need to do things. What did I do? I took it to YouTube. I started researching, and I fell for the trap of the stock bros. and I felt like, you know what, this is the way that I'm going to be able to catch up. And I made a very poor decision. At that time, there was this company called Wink, and this was very popular around COVID or earlier COVID because everybody was doing subscriptions and like getting stuff delivered. And so Wink was a company that delivered wine directly to your door, and you had like monthly subscription fee, and they would send you a box. And I did that throughout like I think this was 2017, and a lot of people were promoting it on social media. I saw a lot of like, YouTubers that I used to follow, and they would get sponsored with that, and that's how I joined the subscription. And I would follow them, and then they decided to kind of do some funding. They were selling stocks, and so they were asking for, I think the minimum was supposed to be 1,500. And young Violeta was over here like, "Yes, I am going to jump on this because Wink is doing good. I see it all over social media, and this is gonna be great." My, delusional self decided to buy 1,500 worth of stock, and I was super excited. I felt like I was a big time investor, right? Like, no more just sending like $100 to my TSP. Like, I just dropped 1,500, right? So I felt like I was becoming like this investor. It didn't take long to realize that, as I learned more and I got some mentorship, they were like, yeah, dropping that much, you should have just done it in the like in an index fund. Because then I learned about index funds, and I was like, oh, well, it should still be doing well. I thought it would be a great company. I was so wrong. That company went under. It doesn't even exist anymore. And I lost all that money because they went bankrupt. They filed bankruptcy, and I didn't get not one penny back from my initial investment. And so that's what I mean of how this financial anxiety can make you feel rushed to the point where you make poor financial decisions. And the same thing happened with my real estate investing journey. I felt like, okay, well, now I'm going to another duty station. I made my first house a rental property, which lucked out and did very well. But my second property, And my third property, I went into it with the mindset of my house, and then I'll just rent it out when I leave again. And that was a bad mentality to have, but I just rushed into it without thinking of like a strategy, what I'm trying to accomplish, what kind of properties I want to invest in, all that. I just went and bought another house. And that house, of course, when I tried to rent it out, did not cover the costs of not even the mortgage. So I was actually paying $200 out of pocket to have that house up for rent. And so then when I went to my third house, that one was also with the mindset of, you know what, this is going to be my house because at that time, then, my now husband, we moved together, we are going to build a family and all that stuff. So it became another buy where it was, hey, it's for me versus thinking of real estate investing. I thought about it a little bit. It's like, okay, it's California, it'll go up and everything, and I could rent it out. But I did zero research. And so I ended up buying a house for me. Now, I will say I kind of lucked out on both of them because when I sold them, I still made some profit. I made a lot of profit on the California one. And also, I did house hack them. So I still made some money off of them, but I lucked out on those two because it could have been really bad. I know a lot of new investors that aren't as lucky. And again, a lot of these decisions is because we are feeling rushed. And so I want to say, hey, it's okay to go slow and to take your time. It's easier said than done, right? Because we carry a lot of money guilt, decision fatigue. I know as the eldest daughter, I'm always the one that is making decisions. And I feel that pressure of, you know, making it because we want to make our parents proud and that their sacrifice was worth it. I definitely jumped into everything, like investing in stocks, investing in real estate. I just went for it. And although sometimes that's a good thing, right? Because there's a lot of people that don't even take that step because they are just that fear keeps them stuck. I've also had to do a lot of things, double the work. I had to do things, go back and fix the things that I did. So even though I've been investing technically in real estate for a little over 10 years, I didn't actually start making strategic moves and strategic investments until the last three to 4 years. You would think when I say, hey, I've been investing for 10 years, you would think that I would have reached a certain point in my real estate investing career, right? That I would have already reached financial freedom and technically I am financially free. Now we're just working on my husband to become, replace his income. But I had to go back and redo a lot of things and change a lot of things because I just was like winging it. Now that I am going at a slower pace, I'm really taking the time to create a strategy and making strategic decisions. Things are definitely slower than what I wanted. Initially, I wanted to buy a property every year, but because I had to fix a few things from my initial real estate investing journey, it kind of, threw a wrench into that plan. But now I have pivoted and now I have a different strategy. Invest in multifamily properties now. And now I'm going to just focus on scaling and making strategic money moves and strategic investments so I can achieve the financial goals again. Right now is to replace my husband's income so he can actually be financially free and then also support my parents during their retirement, right? So I want to just share a few tips on slowing down, but also making strategic moves towards your financial freedom goal. The first one is choosing clarity over chaos. Obviously, you want to learn about whatever financial decisions you're going to make. If you're going to invest in the stock market, learn about index funds, research which platform like Fidelity or Vanguard or M1 Finance you want to use to invest and how much are you going to invest and really create a strategy for your investing instead of just saying like, "Oh, I'm just going to invest it in Amazon or whatever and put all my money in there." Definitely take the time to get clarification on what each stock means and how it's going to affect and how is it going to grow. Same thing with real estate investing. Take the time to clarify what investments you want to go for because you don't want to just go for any property. You have to figure out what you can afford. Are you going to manage the property yourself? Do you have the time to do that? Do you want to do that because, tenants are going to be calling, or you're okay with that because you're good at fixing stuff and you're okay with being the handyman whenever things pop off, and saves you that extra fee figuring out, how fast you want to grow, how much debt you want to get into, how you want to fund these properties. Can get intimidating and can get overwhelming, but take your time figuring this out and learning about it. Now, a quick little selfless plug, if, investing in rental properties in the next year is something that you want to do, it's a goal of yours. I am planning to host a boot camp, a live version of my Keys to Cash Flow rental property boot camp in 2026. I want to have a small group and we're going to meet weekly. We're going to go over like figuring out your strategy, your goals, how to find deals and how to manage your properties, all of that, plus obviously mentorship and support with other Latinas that also are investing in real estate. The wait list is open. It's going to be linked down below. So it's there if you are interested. Don't forget to actually take action, right? Because sometimes a lot of times we get stuck in the research phase and we get that analysis paralysis. There's a lot of things, a lot of times where I kind of like was, you know what, I'm just going to wait. And I have my own mentors that help me get through that little mind block sometimes that you'll have, and you're going to reach that at some point. But when you get clarity, it's going to help you push past that. And it's going to make your financial freedom journey less chaotic because you're being more strategic about it. The next tip is creating systems that you're going to be able to stick to. And this means like automating things, automating your bills, automating your investments. If you're investing in an index fund, calculate how much you need. If your goal is to max out your 401k or Roth IRA or whatever, then figure out what does that mean? How much do you need to put in weekly or monthly or whatever to be able to max that out. Same thing with investing in real estate. If you need to save up for a down payment, what does that look like? How much do you need to save up? Because depending what type of loan you are planning to get, what type of strategy is going to determine the amount of down payment you're going to need, and definitely what you're going to be approved for, the sales price. So you need to figure that out. And then break it down into little chunks. It's like, okay, first quarter, I want to save up this much, second quarter, this much, and, and so on. So create systems for you that are going to help you achieve your financial goals. And don't forget to reassess those systems and make sure that they're still working for you, maybe like on a monthly, quarterly basis to make sure you're on track and that it's working for you. And the third tip I want to share is that if you feel that you're feeling rushed, you're feeling that financial anxiety and that guilt, it's time to address it because you can't just keep it in the back and just avoiding it and suffering through that. You really need to take the steps to try to address that. And there's lots of resources out there to help you overcome that financial anxiety and that financial trauma. Because if you don't learn to overcome that and address it and work through that, it's still going to affect you throughout your financial journey. And it's going to prevent you from making educated financial decisions because you might make a poor financial decision because you might be stressed out one day and your emotions get overwhelm you and then you're like, oh, whatever, I'm just going to, I don't know, not invest this month or whatever. And so you really need to address that. There's a lot of books out there. I'll link one from a guest that I've had here on Money Chisme, and I will link that episode as well. And there's his name is Rakim. And I've also had Stephanie Olano. She's been on the podcast. I'll link her episode where both of them talk about financial anxiety and financial trauma in our communities and how what you can do to overcome that. Definitely, this is something that's going to take some time as well. It's a work in progress. I'm still working through a lot of this as well. I've gotten better at it, but there's still some times where my anxiety can overwhelm me and, it puts me down or whatever. So, still something that I'm still working on, but it's just one of those things that's going to take time. So, we've glamorized fast wins, and this is all part of, you know, being on social media. You see it on social media, people like being successful, and a lot of times we don't see the journey, the struggles. And so you think that you're supposed to, oh, invest it for like a year or two, and then all of a sudden you've reached financial freedom. And that's not the case at all. There's this thing called delayed gratification, is that we work towards something before we reap the benefits. And a lot of people have a hard time with that because of social media. We live in a fast paced world. And so we're always trying to do everything fast. We really need to learn to kind of slow down, because a lot of these overnight successes that you see on social media, they actually took a lot of slow, consistent steps. And of course, there's going to be a few that got lucky, but for the majority of people, especially with me, now that I have financial freedom, that result came from 10 years ago when I decided to invest in real estate. And it resulted in 5 years ago when I decided to just like work on becoming debt free, not having any debt besides obviously my rental properties, and paying off all that stuff. And same thing with my husband, working through his debt. And so now we're both debt free and financially free. We're stable. We don't have to worry about paying our bills or anything like that. Now we're kind of moving into getting him, being able to be work optional, helping out my family because my parents are retirement age. So I want to support them throughout their final years, of course. So, yeah, I am here to remind you that you are on your own special journey. You have your own unique obstacles and things that you have to deal with. And it might take you a little bit longer, and that's okay. Going slow and with intention and strategy, you're is going to still help you achieve your financial goals. The thing that you want to avoid is getting lost in the sauce with everybody else's journey. Like somebody else might be going faster than you, and then you feel the need to rush, and that opens the door for mistakes. So yeah, just take your time. You're not doing it wrong as long as you're still pushing forward, taking steps, even if it's like half a step. That's okay. It is still progress. So remember, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're listening to the podcast, don't forget to share this episode and do me a favor and give this podcast a rating. It helps us push it to other people that may need to hear this message. Other than that, I will see you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like and share this episode so others can also find this podcast. Don't forget to follow me on all my social medias listed in the show notes below, where you can also find resources to help you in your financial journey. If you're interested in becoming a guest on the podcast, you can find that information in the show notes. Other than that, thank you so much for your support, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.